Welcome to another episode of Sparkcast. We have a very fun treat for my other co-hosts here. What are we recording here today after you introduce yourself, Thomas, Charlie?
Introducing ourselves? Don't they know us?
No, you always want to introduce your name so that people know who you are.
What up? This is Charlie. Okay.
Well, repeat that. I was talking when your intro, so let's just start it over. All right, here we go. Welcome to our next episode of Sparkcast. I'm your co-host, Sean, and together here we also have...
Charlie! Yo, what up? People, I'm here.
And Thomas, and I'm also here.
And what are we reviewing today, Thomas?
Hold on. Let me pull out my magnifying glass. I can look at this 3x3 Transformers mini book.
How do you know what the size is? All I have is pictures of it.
It looks like you're holding a quarter next to one of the. No. It is so small. It is so small. Is this one of the weird ways for Hasbro to like lower costs? We don't have to draw this big art.
Hold on. Do you want to listen to something? Listen to this. Let's see if it picks up.
I am Optimus Prime.
Yeah, I heard that.
Is it the book that makes that noise?
Hold on 1 second.
Autobots, transform and roll out.
Okay, what is this?
So when I was in New York City like 5 years ago, comic book store, it's a little mini bust the size of the palm of your hand of just Optimus Prime's face and chest plate. You push the button and he has 3 to 5 phrases. I don't think I've actually ever heard him do that transforming one. It must play them all randomly. And it came with this little mini book about the Transformers.
Oh, the figure came with the book. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the mini book certainly is reminiscent of like the little golden books that used to be mini. Like, you know how you get the full size pokey little puppy, or get the mini one from like McDonald's or movies or something.
Yeah, like you would get the children's classic Treasure Island as this 200-page book, but it was also available as a 200-page mini book. It was just everything shrunk down, the art and the dime store books, I think is what they call it, because those have been around since the 20s.
Yeah.
And like they still had them back in the 70s and 80s when we were growing up. So
you said they were 200 pages?
Yeah, they weren't this small, not this small. It was just really funny. I remember I have my grandfather's Green Hornet one. It's like from the 30s. And it's just like, it's like somehow 150 pages packed into this thing that's as big as the bottom of your palm of your hand all the way to your index finger and just a giant square.
Okay. All right. That seems like it would still be kind of thick, even if it's like 100 pages.
In fact, interestingly, those used to be highly sought-after collector's items. When people who read those as a kid started to collect them when they got older, suddenly they became huge collector's items worth tons of money, and then all those people died out, and then so now they're worth nothing.
This comes in cycles.
This is even smaller than that, but luckily is only like 20 mini pages. It's got Optimus Prime on the cover, ready to charge at you. And just says Transformers on the book, doesn't have a title. I think they only made an Optimus because this is the only one I saw in the store. But it was I don't have enough light to see if there's a year under here. But I'll have to look around and post the link. 2014 Hasbro is when I bought this. Or the next year when I was in one of the big comic stores in New York City. This was just a fun little souvenir I picked up to remember going to New York. And so now I get to share it with the two of you and anyone else who wants to listen.
Is this going to be another retelling of the origin of the
yes.
War?
You know it.
Oh no! Instead of a retelling, I think the intro is actually the lore of the creation instead of
Cybertron.
in maybe 2 to 3 pages, but still, Instead of the same stuff we've been experiencing over and over again, this time it's like how Cybertron came into being instead.
It's a synopsis.
Got the intro, then the next page is like blah, 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 copyright, whatever Running Press is. Oh, Running Press Miniature Edition is what this is called.
Running Press it has a negative connotation to me, just the name.
Yeah. So the intro is just Optimus pointing his gun. Megatron, I swear it almost looks like he's giving Optimus a thumbs up from behind him because he's just kind of there. And then a Starscream flying.
That's a fist bump or something.
And then Starscream lightly flying in the background against. Okay, and there's no backgrounds in this book. It's always two-tone colors. And then so the beginning, it's called In the Beginning, There Were Two. And who would like to read this awesome origin of the Transformers?
I guess I will read it. This feels like reading the Bible. This is weird. In the beginning, there were two Titans, Primus and Unicron, battled in the far reaches of space for a millennium, neither gaining an advantage over the other. Primus fought Unicron in order to keep Unicron from devouring all that he could claim, so that the new universe could thrive. At a key moment in battle, Primus sacrificed himself for the greater good and sealed both he and Unicron in a metal rock forever. Over the eons, the two Titans continued their fight mentally while encased in the planet. Eventually, the two beings separated from one another, forming two distinct metal planets, each now a new form of being, the first Transformers. Primus gave of his essence and brought life to the metal on his surface. He created bots imbued with free will and freedom to do as they saw fit. These creatures were also granted the ability to have two forms in an echo of their creator's form. Over time, these new Transformers called their home Cybertron. Unicron used his newfound power to become a hulking metal monstrosity that feeds on planets and radiates evil, always looking for an upper hand against his old enemy and the children of Primus, the Transformers. Over time, a rift formed between the children of Primus. A group calling themselves the Decepticons thirsted for greater power. They sought to dominate all in their path. Only a few stood up to fight against this oppression, calling themselves Autobots. They fought for a free Cybertron. On rare occasions, there has been peace on Cybertron, but most have lived with a civil war that has raged for centuries. The evil Decepticons seek to control and dominate all living beings that cross their path, including the Earth. An outnumbered group of heroic Autobots continue to fight valiantly against the Decepticons anywhere, in their core belief that freedom is the right of all sentient beings.
I'm getting a lot of ideas from this already. The first was like, I liked your reading, by the way. The first, I was just like, has there ever been a Transformers show where the Decepticons vastly outnumber the Autobots? It always seems to be equal in almost every show except for like Beast Machines.
Think so? No, more Decepticons because they just seem to come out of the woodwork on the show.
Well, in general, I feel like they're not always 1-to-1. There's always more Decepticons, just like a few more Decepticons than the Transformers. Mm-hmm. But besides Beast Machines, like Beast Machines, Transformers. What is the one you had me watch with Knockout?
Prime.
That one also has it's the same. It's kind of a similar setup where they just have these faceless minions that they use from time to time. So there's like Beast Machines. There's like hundreds of those just useless things they just throw at people.
And I was just like, God, can you imagine if Cybertron was like Earth and like, you know, hundreds of years later we were still in a civil war with the North and against the South. And then as soon as I was thinking that, I was like, oh wait.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, I don't know if I want to get into that right now.
So it's January 15th, 2021, where we're recording right now.
The other thing, though, is that like they make a point to point out how like the Autobots have like a core belief that freedom is the right of all sentient beings. I wonder how they're gonna feel about humanity with some of our actions.
Yeah. The one thing I thought was funny is this was originally the lore in the original Marvel comics, where Unicron and Primus, except for the splitting apart, they were like trapped in their own planet, and one created Cybertron, and one was just like, well, I'll just make a big ass body. That's the lore they use. I don't know how they deal with the Quintessons then, because the Quintessons are clearly in the movie, in the G1 series, the original cartoons. We'll find out in season 3 that those face people, Quintessons, were the original like settlers or people there, and then they created them. But in some continuities, Primus created the Transformers first, or in most now since G1. No one's ever gone back to the Quintessons being the original people on Cybertron. I guess a lot of people don't like that as the lore.
That they were the originals?
Yes. So what'd you guys think of that little mini tale of lore?
Biblical in proportion.
In the beginning, there were two.
Oh, it's so confusing that they call Primus and Unicron Titans. Because I thought Titans were the big, huge things like Trypticon or Metroplex. So does that mean that it's just the way they're called? I think they call them Titans, in reference to the Greek myth Titans, who were the gods of gods. That might be where they're using that word, instead of actually referencing the Titans of Transformer figures.
But are the Titans of the Transformer figures, aren't those like ancient Transformers that are like legendary or anything? Or do they not have any actual lore?
No, they are old, usually, at least in the newer continuities.
Like the dinosaur Transformers, what are they called? The Dinobots? I can't remember suddenly. But I mean,
are you thinking of the giant dinosaur robot that's like huge on the evil side, not the Dinobots?
I mean, yeah, there's Dinobots, so why not mythical Greek Titan bots? I mean, why wouldn't they be considered the Titans? Why wouldn't Transformers be considered the children of the Titans?
But Primus didn't sleep with his own sister, so we're not going to have all this drama.
And nobody was born from anybody's like just head or anything.
He didn't turn into a swan, impregnate some human Transformer
Unicron
thing.
didn't just open up his mouth and like a bunch of Decepticons poured out of it or something.
All right, so anyway, on to the next page. What does that say on the next page, Thomas?
More than meets the eye.
It's just a picture of Grimlock standing in a generic pose.
Oh man, come on.
The rest of this book is just
Isn't that
quotes.
Grimlock?
Yeah. I was about to say his human form, but I mean like his robot form.
I guess you're trying to say that there's more than meets the eye than Grimlock on this page.
The next page is just Optimus pointing, going, "It's you and me, Megatron," with the next page being, boom, Megatron, and huge, covering one page and displaying...
Megatron looks like he's about to blast the crap out of him.
and that's all this is quotes with some intros of like 6 main characters, or 8 main characters. But the intro has them do a double-page spread. Oh my gosh. That was a quote from Starscream there, Thomas, after Megatron's page.
That's a weird quote.
I wonder if it's from one of the...
Got an arm cannon and it's outstanding. That's what that's what Megatron seems to be saying on that page. But
I'll show those putrid Lotus how to fight. That's what Starscream's saying.
Louts?
Louts.
Jesus. No wonder it didn't seem like a weird... No wonder the quote was weird. I'm looking at it, I was like, why is he calling them lotuses?
Actually, I saw Lotus the first time too. It's the font. The font is kind of like...
Yeah, the font is throwing me off.
Yeah.
Putrid Lotus. Putrid
I'll
lout.
show those putrid louts how to fight.
I'll show those putrid louts.
But I like how Bumblebee's quote on the next page is, "Prime told me there'd be days like this." I'm like, that's it? You're not going to give him some heroic quote?
And he seems all happy about it.
He's got this, yeah, he's just smiling, being like not heroic at all with that quote. And then it's like, Optimus Prime on the next picture with a display of his symbol, maybe 25% larger than the other pictures.
There'll be days like this. There'll be days
He's like cruising off
this.
the page.
I just realized that every Autobot and Decepticon gets one intro and one quote. It's just all randomly mixed around instead of in any order whatsoever. Shockwave's here is prepare for termination. But then it's followed by Starscream's intro, who already had a quote. I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Why are they so clearly out of order?
Why does Starscream not say anything? I mean, he says plenty all the time, but...
Yeah. Well, they don't say anything on their intro, on their giant, intro identifier page.
Okay.
And then what's Megatron saying there, Charlie?
Oh, Megatron. Anyone who stands in my way will be demolished. Because demolished sounds really bad. That's a bad thing to happen. I mean, could have said vaporized or anything else that hurts really bad. Microwaved, no, demolished.
Optimus Prime is a truck and just says, Autobots transform and roll out. I guess he got 2 quotes, apparently, because he's Optimus. Then, Grimlock intro. Oh, he gets to say 3 things. Maybe because it's the Optimus figure I bought.
I am Optimus Prime. The Decepticons must be stopped. Autobots, transform and roll out.
Oh.
And that's what he says on this page.
Megatron is in my sights.
Fire.
Energon fuel cells are low.
I haven't...
To recharge in the CR chamber.
What? I've never heard that one before. He just said he was low on energon and needs to recharge in the CR chamber. Is that from like one of the episodes?
Receiving a message from Autobot headquarters.
Wow. There's
I am Optimus Prime.
Wow, there were like, I thought there were only 4. There were 2 in there I've never heard before now. Anyway, back to this amazing book with, which I don't know what purpose this book serves. But yeah. Optimus just has his quote from the movie. Shockwave's intro. Oh yeah, Soundwave appears.
Oh, Soundwave.
What's he saying there, Thomas? Do you want to speak for Soundwave?
Warning, strong energy transmissions detected.
That's not his voice.
What kind of quote is that to be like, to show off like how cool
Soundwave
he is?
Like, I'm cool.
I'm cool. I detect transmissions.
I sit in front of a computer screen and repeat what the computer says.
He's basically just a giant receiver, I suppose. Receiver of signals.
You want to read Grimlock Charlie there?
There's nothing to say except I'm trying to defend my honor with this sword of golden light. Yeah. I don't know much about
shooting
Grimlock.
people.
Yeah, I really don't know much about Grimlock, but the sword is kind of cool.
What's he saying on the left page?
Left page.
Yeah, where he's shooting at the screen, the one right after Soundwave.
We're on page 20.
Why did I skip page 20? These are out of order. Oh,
I know.
No, I didn't realize it. I was just opening them up in order. Where's 20?
They should all be in chronological order the way I took the pictures.
I need to sort them by name. Is what I need to do. No, I didn't help either.
I'll read it. It's you wrong and you ugly too.
Oh no, that's terrible. I did see that one before, but I can't find it now.
And then it's just like Bumblebee intro, Megatron do as I command, repeating the art from the intro, or they use that for the intro, and then Soundwave intro, Oh, hey, what does Starscream say here, Thomas?
He's not saying anything. Let's move on to the next page.
Oh no, what is he saying that's so powerful?
It's no use. We're outnumbered.
I don't understand how they chose these quotes. Like, is there actually a Starscream bust? And if you push it, it says it's no use, we're outnumbered. So you too can have a cowardly Starscream every time you hit the button.
His classic line, retreat!
Yeah, retreat!
I still don't understand why there's a line in here that's like, I'm low on Energon in this little Optimus thing. I was like, thanks, that's what I want to hear when I push my Optimus Prime sound chip.
It's to let you know that the battery is low. You need to go to this Radio Shack and get another one.
Hey, Radio Shack was gone way before 2014. Do you want to read the last page, Charlie? Optimus with an axe?
You're talking about the one shall stand, one shall fall page, or?
No, the one where he's got an axe running at the screen, or at you. In green background.
Green background. Where's that? Okay, I see it. Okay, the battle isn't over until the last Decepticon has fallen. Okay.
The end. That was our awesome book. Was just
end.
8 intros. Everyone gets a quote, though Megatron got 2, and so did, and Optimus got 4.
Then we went to another Optimus quote. I was going to say, in Adam's fall, we send all, because that's what it looked like he was saying at first.
I like how it's like this book was bound using handcraft methods and smith sewn to ensure durability.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely smith sewn. Look at that.
And I don't know what it means when it says this text was set in Ginza. I don't know what that means. Is that the font?
No, literally in Ginza, Tokyo. They had to send it to Tokyo to get the font set because it's so beautiful. No, I don't know why they would.
Okay. Well, that was our mini book. What did you all think of that? Do you think that's a cool special thing to get with your little Optimus bust?
Yeah, good value.
You don't have to lie to me.
If I was a kid, I would love this because I used to like getting a mini book. Like, I got these at Wendy's or whatever, and it stayed in my collection forever. This one looks like it has that smell. You know that book smell, like of many books that are small and have really glossy paper. Like,
yeah, it does look like one of those little mini books you would get at McDonald's or Burger King, doesn't it?
Yeah, I would just.
You know what? I guess I was gonna say this thing was kind of worthless, but I'm trying to think like as a kid, I probably would have enjoyed it on the car ride home because I remember when I was younger when we would get new video games and like I was so excited. I was like, well, I'm just gonna read the manual on the way home. Like I want to know everything about this game.
I would do that too.
So I can imagine getting this toy and just looking at that book, flipping through it, something to entertain you for like 15 minutes.
Probably car sick by the time you were there.
So this was actually just to get us set up for a little bit of a high expectation for something light, something fun. So we'll see you guys next time when we look at an unofficial Transformers book. So prepare your expectations.
Oh no! All right.
What exactly is unofficial? How unofficial is this?
Oh, you'll
Who
see.
made this? Okay.
All right. Well, so signing off for now for this quick episode is Sean,
Thomas,
Charlie.
Good night.
Later.